Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed the Chicka Chicka Boom Boom book that I found on YouTube. I thought it was really cute since it was read by a student. So hopefully you watch that video first and you can kind of figure out what our project is going to be from that. So I have a very big example that I created at school, which if you have paper this big, this is 12 by 18 inches. That is fabulous, but I don't even have that big of a paper here at home. So I'm going to use something a little bit smaller. So you use whatever materials you have available at your house. It could be copy paper, which is what I'm going to use. It could be newspaper. It could be notebook paper. Maybe you have a sketchbook at home. So whatever you've got available for you to use, that's what you're going to use. I would maybe not go a whole lot smaller than the copy paper size because we are going to be writing inside the boxes, so you don't want it too small. That might make it really hard. So for this part, once you have gone and you've gotten all of your supplies, so your paper and something to draw with, I used pencil, and then I'm also going to draw it with Sharpie so that you guys can see what we're doing. You may want to go ask someone at home to help you with this part because it's kind of tricky. If you noticed, we need 6 lines going vertically. Okay, so vertically is up and down. So we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lines vertically, and then we're going to need 3 horizontally. So going side to side, 1, 2, 3. So that might be kind of tricky. So you can pause the video now if you need to and go get a little bit of help from someone that you think might be able to help you with this. What I did is I actually folded it in half this way so I could kind of find the middle of my paper. And then with a pencil, I just kind of figured out roughly where I want my lines so that I can connect them all the way down to the bottom with my Sharpie. And I don't make them perfectly straight because honestly I think this looks a little bit more fun when they're not straight. But if you wanted to measure it out, use a ruler, you could totally do that, but it is definitely not necessary. So once I have my vertical lines going, now I'm going to actually fold it in half horizontally. And since I only need 3 lines this way, I'm actually just going to trace this line because I need 3 going horizontally. There's my middle one, and then I'm going to need 1 on either side. So I'll do 1 here, and I'll do 1 here. And now I am ready. So whenever you get all of your grids completely fixed, you can go over them with a Sharpie if you would like, or you can just leave it with pencil. It's completely up to you. You could use crayon or oil pastel to go over the lines. It doesn't matter. You guys decide. So here's where it gets kind of fun. Originally, when I created this lesson right here, I used what is called texture plates. So you guys have used those before in my class. They have all kinds of texture to them. So here's an example. I brought some of them with me. This one looks like it's bumpy, but it also feels bumpy. So what I did is I brought a couple home that I could use. And if you don't have texture plates at home, that's okay. Probably a lot of people don't. But if you do, I just wanted to remind you how they work. So you'll get your texture plate out and you'll actually put it underneath where you're working. So I'm going to be using oil pastels, but you could use crayons for this part as well if you have them. What you do is you want to use the side of your oil pastel. You don't want to use the top because it doesn't work as well. So you want to try to use the side. So you'll want to pick a box and make sure that the texture plate is underneath it. And you're going to want to go over that. And you'll notice it has kind of a fun texture to it. So now I might switch colors and use the same texture plate. Maybe go up here a little bit. Let's see. I can switch it out. Take this one out. And now I'm going to do this one. So you guys, if you don't have these, I'm going to show you something else that you can do. So there's that. Maybe I'll do one more up here. I'll make it orange. So again, most of you might not have these texture plates available. If you've got something that you think you can make some kind of texture with, you should definitely do it. But you can also just make really fun designs. So don't go crazy. You can keep them simple because this is only one layer in what our project is going to be. So if you just want to do something simple like horizontal lines, you can absolutely do that. Maybe you want to do some circles. You could do that too. Just keep it simple because we're also going to paint. We're also going to have the letters on top. So I'm going to make sure that I get all of these boxes filled in, doing some kind of fun, easy pattern. It doesn't have to be really complicated. Like I said, you could have some thin lines. Maybe you've got some thicker lines in here. You guys get to decide. So I'm going to finish this part and then I will show you what we are going to do next. Alright guys, once you are finished putting all of the patterns in all of the squares and your grid is complete, if you are going to paint, now is the time to do it. So I have my paints over here, got my water cup. One of the things that I want to go over with you is I like to do opposite colors. So if I have purple, I try not to put purple on it. I try to do a different color. So here, I've got a bright yellow. It's going to look so bright next to my dark purple. So if you want on some of them, you can certainly match your colors, purple on purple, yellow on yellow, whatever it is. It just doesn't show up quite as bright, and I'll kind of try to show you what I'm talking about. So here I have pink. The pink tends to blend in when I do pink on pink, and that might be kind of fun to do on some of the boxes, but if you want them to kind of stand out, you can see the difference here. Now you may be looking at some of my boxes too saying, oh, she forgot, but I didn't. Look at that. I used white. So if you have a white crayon or a white oil pastel, you can always use those too, and they always look kind of fun. So I'm going to do what I did just a minute ago, and I'm going to pause the video while I finish painting, and you guys can finish painting if you're doing this part. Now maybe you aren't, maybe you are going to do markers or something like that, and if that's the case, then you'll just kind of pick up as soon as my video picks up. I'm going to pause here, and I'm going to finish painting all of my grids, and then I'll be back to show you how to add the letters. Okay guys, I feel like mine is pretty dry. There are some spaces I can kind of tell are still a little wet, so I'm going to be very careful in those spaces. But the very last step is fun. I'm going to do mine with a black oil pastel. You can use whatever you want. If you want to use a Sharpie, if you have that and you're allowed to use it, that's cool. If you just have a black crayon, that will work exactly the same as the oil pastel. If you would rather use a marker of some sort, you can do it. Maybe you want to use fun colored markers. Use whatever you have. Be creative. You could even use like a bunch of different types of materials. So some oil pastels, some crayons or markers, whatever. You can kind of mix and match. So the first thing that I want you to realize is that we actually have 28 squares, and there are only 26 letters in the alphabet. So what I did is I picked my first square and I picked my last square because I like how it's sort of balanced that way. And I just did a really easy shape. So in this example that I made, I just did a heart at the top and the bottom. You could really do whatever you want. So if you wanted to do just like some kind of fun pattern, be very careful there because mine is definitely still wet in the middle. I don't want to tear my paper. Alright, so I could just do a fun pattern and I could kind of repeat that pattern down here. Again, I like the top and the bottom because I feel like it gives my artwork balance. So now's the fun part because now we get to make all the different letters. And you don't have to make your letters all look the same. I think it's kind of fun to make some of them fancy and practice some of these fancy fonts. So here's just a fun A, and you can always go online and look at different fonts on your computer if you want to look at that too. So all you have to do is pull up a Word document and you can change the font, which is the way the letters look. So maybe some of them are lowercase, some of them can be uppercase, some of them can be crooked, because in our book, Chicka Chicka Boom Boom, they were. Some of them were falling all over. Make this D a little fancy. A, B, C, D. I keep having to remind myself what letter I'm on. I don't want to mess up. E. Let's do a fancy F. G, H. I'm going to do a really big H. I'm going to make it kind of fancy too. H, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. H, next is I. I'm going to make my J a little crooked. Just 4, 5. H, I, J, K, L, M. M almost looks like a zigzag line, doesn't it? A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M. Now we're on N. And O. I make O really big. P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and the last one, Z. Alright guys, I may go back and make some of mine kind of fancy. I may leave some of them just the way they are. I hope that you had fun doing this project. Now, when you go to submit it, I would honestly rather a photograph. So you'll have to get someone, or maybe you can do it, to kind of hold your phone or tablet or whatever you've got over and take a picture. Videos are really hard, and I can't upload videos to Art Sonia, which is where I put all of your work. It won't let me put your sweet little faces on Art Sonia. It is a safety feature to make sure that it's safe for all kids. So you will need someone to take a photograph and upload it to Art Sonia. There are directions on how to do that in your communications folder from me. If it is too hard, too confusing, that is totally fine. I know this is new. I would be more than happy to upload it for you. I just need a photograph emailed to me. So my email is in the communications folder as well. So again, to turn this in on Art Sonia, you're going to find the tab that says K Art from Home, and you're going to upload it there. If that is too confusing and you need my help, just save it on your computer and email it to me, and I would be more than happy to get it online. I cannot wait to see what you guys have come up with. Have fun, and I miss you.